to another night at the track, and we have made our way up to Winston, Missouri tonight at I-35 Speedway, and we have caught up with Mike Johnson, former driver, now owner of I-35. Mike, had what, about a 3 or 4 year tenure here so far?
This is our 5th year.
Whoop, I don't need that.
5th year already, yeah. Time goes quick.
It just doesn't seem like it. I guess it's because I've been up here so many times. The track just keeps getting better, and of course you've done some more improvements this year.
Oh yeah, we've put new lights up in the pits. We built a new 3,000 square foot 2-story suite down there with a bar, kitchen, full service. So anybody that's wanting to rent anything, we've got businesses renting out the place now. For $20 you can get in there and enjoy evening racing in the air conditioning and sit back and have a good time.
I was going to say, it sounds like anybody come up and get some real VIP treatment up here now, and man, that just adds to the pleasure of the viewing. Of course, tremendous racing up here all the time.
We always have really good racing. We've had excellent car counts this year and good fan counts, so we're excited about it.
What about tonight? Man, had a little wind all day. Did you guys get any morning rain? We had just a brief shower, but is the track going to be dry, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
We've put tons of water on the track all day. No, we didn't get any rain this morning, and it probably will turn out dry. At the end of the night, the wind's blowing, and there's nothing you can do about it. We've put all the water on it that it can handle, and it'll be what it's going to be, but it'll be a good track. Something else we've got going tonight, and we're doing this year, we're doing 4 concerts this night at the end of the races. And tonight we have Clear Ambition, and then actually on June 9th we've got Outlaw Jim and the Whiskey Benders coming up here, which he's got a huge following, so it's something extra we're doing. I feel like we've got to be entertainers, you know, as well as promoters and stuff, and so we're giving the fans and drivers and something extra.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I was just up to Heartland Park last week, and they were saying almost the same thing. Make it a fan experience, and I know that's what you're trying to do here too.
Yeah, with all the improvements we've made, our fans are our number one priority. You know, making them comfortable and giving them entertainment all night long, and that's what we're about here.
One other thing we might just cover real briefly, IMCA track. Every time I see IMCA races, whether it be here or up at Mayetta, up at Thunder Hill or whatever, I'm more impressed all the time. And it seems like the racers really like it too, because it's kind of a little fairer playing field for everybody.
Yeah, the good thing about sanctioning is everybody knows what the rules are when they pull in. And we get a lot of Iowa guys come down, so IMCA has been really good for us. Larry Castor started IMCA up here, and we're just continuing, you know, what he started.
Well, I don't know about you, Mike, but man, I'm ready to see some racing. I know we're having a drivers meeting right now, it looks like, and starting to pack the track in, and I can hardly wait.
Yep, everybody come see us at I-35 Speedway. You can get all the information you want at I-35Speedway.net on our website, and stay in touch with us. I guarantee you have a good time.
It's only 45 minutes north of Kansas City. I think people forget that. I know my boy says, oh, Dad, it's too far, I'm going to Valley. But it's only 15 more minutes, and I'm telling you, it's worth the drive, folks. So come on up here and visit I-35. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thank you.
We caught up with one of the guys that's tied for the hobby stock points deal here at I-35, Andrew Husted. Is that right? Houston. I always mess it up the first time. Anyway, first year here at I-35. I guess you must be having a good time if you're tied for the points.
Oh yeah, it's always a good time.
Any time on the track?
Oh yeah. Nothing better to do on a Saturday night.
Yeah. How many years you been racing, Andrew?
First year for IMCA, but I've raced 4 cylinders for 5 years or so before this.
Yeah. Well, man, this is a pretty good step up for you then, about twice the horsepower, twice the car.
Oh yeah, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
A lot more to mess up.
Probably a little stiffer competition too, isn't there?
Oh yeah, a lot more.
Well, you must be holding your own, like I say, man, if you're tied for the points. Have you had any feature wins yet this year?
Yeah, I went up here earlier in April, but other than that, just been battling some problems, mechanical wise. But we're saying we got our bugs worked out now, hopefully.
I was going to say, first year, man, there's a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of stuff to go through. You must be handling it well to be, like I say, in the points battle.
Yeah, we're learning. Every week something new. So.
Once again, tied for the points here at I-35 in hobby stock class, Andrew Husted. Houston. Here's the co-leader for the hobby stocks here at I-35, Mick Ross. Mick, third year here at I-35, but man, you're still in a big points battle with Andrew over there, just 2 cars away.
It's going to be a tight one all year. But I know Eric's staying 1 point behind us. It'll probably come down to the line at the end of the year, I'd say.
Let me ask you this, in this hobby stock class, man, is there anything you can pull out of your back pocket or anything going to give you any kind of an advantage or anything for this race? I mean, really, we're only, 6 races into the year, so a long summer.
Hobby stocks, you can't really do a whole lot. It's pretty much on driving, main part of it. And I've ran this track 3 years, so I know where the fast parts are and I know where the slow parts are. So.
And the other thing is keeping this thing in one piece. That hobby stock class, it can get a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, it can get pretty wild, but we don't have any bitter rivalries going on right now, and it'd be good to keep it that way this year.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, is there any certain place on the track you really like to run and you think maybe high or low, where it might be a little bit better for you, like say, to keep the car in one piece?
If it's tacky, I like to run the real low side. I can hold it down there, a lot of people can't. And then if it's dry, I like to run the middle to high side. Usually the better line to run whenever it's dry. So.
Who's making the power on this beast?
GM crate motors.
GM crate motors, man, that's a good deal for everybody, wasn't it? I mean, that really took a lot of the priciness out of this racing, especially in hobby stock.
Don't got to worry about getting claimed or anything like that. So it makes it pretty nice.
Once again, the co-leader for the hobby stock class here at I-35 Speedway, Mick Ross. Mick, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
We caught up with Pat Neely, the points leader for the stock car division here at I-35. Pat, all I can say is, man, one of the most competitive classes in IMCA nationally, let alone here at I-35, of which you got guys dropping in here all the time from Iowa, Nebraska, wherever. I mean, some of the best guys, Nichols, I can't remember another one who drives up at Marietta a lot, but it's a tough class to run in, Pat.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah.
So far this year, how you been doing? Yet got any feature wins or just hanging tight in the top 5?
No wins. We've had a couple seconds and a couple tenths. So yeah, just finishing every night. That's the main thing. So
I was going to say that's another thing, keeping it in one piece and just getting around there. Answer me this: you're one of the first guys we've talked to that's been out. I know it's really early and track's going to change a lot. Going to be a regular I-35 track tonight.
I think it's going to get slick. I think it's going to dry off and get slick.
So qualifying then is going to be a key here tonight to getting up in the front of that feature, so you don't have to pass a lot of cars.
Right. Well, the way IMCA lines up, you got to make the invert from the heat race. But unfortunately, if you're high in the points, you start towards the back. So I'm going to try to make the invert, and hopefully we'll get 10th or 11th or something like that. We'll start in the middle of the pack, I imagine. So.
Boy, that's got to be a tough deal to put up with there. I mean, I wouldn't want to say they're penalizing you for being good, but at the same time, if you're doing good, then you got to kind of go back.
Yeah, it's a tough deal. And that's probably been one of my downfalls, getting through traffic. So I'd love to start out front, but we'll see what happens.
Well, all I can say, Pat, is, man, let's have a little fun tonight. Come up to I-35 here, and I always love the IMCA racing. That is one of the things about it. I think it's a real pleasurable thing for the fans to watch, in that a guy like you that might have a little more speed, man, he's got to work back up to the front.
Yeah, it's a tough deal. Like I said, it's pretty tough. We'll see what happens.
Once again, point leader here at I-35 in the stock car class, Pat Neely. Pat, have fun, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We caught up with the leader in the points here at I-35 for the Grand National class, Travis Walker. Travis, no feature wins. I mean, it's kind of gotten to be a story here tonight with most of the point leaders that I've talked to. They have no feature wins this year, but it's just been running consistent and finishing.
Yeah, that's all the points show, I guess, is just consistency. I guess goes to show you don't have to win to be leading them.
Now, you were telling me that you've been racing up here at I-35 for quite a while.
Yeah, since 1996. Yeah, quite a few laps around the track.
I was going to say, you must know it pretty good by now then. That's got to help a little bit, especially in this Grand National class, because there again, it's another one of those classes where, man, you ain't got a ton of power out there.
No, it's if you let out of it, you're going to get past. It just feels like racing with a mouse under the hood.
I've never heard that before. Now, that's a new one, a mouse under the hood. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the car. Whose chassis is it, and who's making the mouse power?
Well, Randy Odell's making the mouse power. The chassis is an old antiquer. Gene Steele built it Oh gosh, probably in 2003. So it's an old street stock we converted. It's never meant to be run in Grand National class, but it does okay.
I am really surprised. I've heard a lot of old modifieds being converted over, but man, that's the first time I've heard of a street stock being converted over to a Grand National. Did you is this you still running the original suspension, or did you go to bars or what?
It's homemade. It's my own design. It's similar to a stock suspension, but it's got a short bar on the left rear, real short bar, 12-inch bar. So and it's adjustable. Other than that, it's pretty well stocked.
Man, we don't want to give anything away now. I mean, you know, don't say too much here. I mean, let's remember you're leading the points right now. So
I don't mind. I ain't got nothing to hide.
Okay, once again, leading the points here for the Grand Nationals at I-35, Travis Walker. Travis, have some fun tonight.
All right, definitely will. Thank you.
Okay. Caught up with the points leader here in the Northern Sport Mod class at I-35 Speedway, Chad Clancy. Chad moved over to the B mods this year. First of all, how's that suiting you?
I'm having a lot of fun with it. I was trying to race 2 nights a week, but I had to cut back to 1 night a week, so planning on running both nights, but we'll be right back out to Lakeside next week also. So depends on how tonight goes, really.
I was going to say, are you more familiar with Lakeside than you are up here? Because I think you kind of cut your teeth up here actually before you started at Lakeside, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a lot more laps up here, but I don't know. I like Lakeside. It's a lot more fun, but here it's fun too. It's just you get tore up more here. So smaller tracks that tends to happen. So, but I like them both. So
I was going to say one. This is my opinion. I'm not a driver, but it seems like one's a little bit more faster, a little more speed. The other one is maybe a little more driver control on the smaller track.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let me ask you this too, Chad, while we're talking about it. IMCA, is that a good deal? I mean, I think you've run IMCA before, but coming back out of the Grand Nationals and having to come back into the IMCA, does it provide any kind of a real challenge, or you know, things that the driver and crew have to go through to meet the requirements of IMCA racing?
No, I mean, it just gives you a baseline of the tracks to, you know, there's no judgment calls on anything. It's their rules. They just stand by them. I think it's a great thing. I wish everyone would go to it, but I don't think they ever will in the A mods anyway. But they've gotten so far out of control. But yeah, I think it's a great thing.
Let me ask you this: a big difference of the price of running the B mod or Northern Sport mod. I keep wanting to call them a B mod, and the Grand National that you ran for quite a while.
Not a big difference. The motor's the biggest deal, but there's not. They all cost about the same to maintain. Once you get the car bought, they all cost about the same to maintain, unless you go out and tear something up every week, but I try not to do that.
I was going to say, I've seen you drive. If it gets tore up, it's not your fault. It's usually somebody else's fault. Leading the points, answer me this: who's making the chassis and who's making the power for you?
It's Johnny and Scott's car. It's kind of a long story. It's a 6 or 7 year old car. They built it themselves, and then it's been.
Give me a last name. I'm sorry, Johnny.
Fugit. Okay. Yeah, he used to race. He's raced it up here the past 4 or 5 years, and but Jim and Blake Peeler at Soccer Chassis have gone front stubbed it and back stubbed it and changed a few things on it over the years. And they asked me to drive it at Boone last year at the Super Nationals, and I did. And then I sold my late model over the winter, so I just took over driving it all the time this year. They're building a new hobby stock, so. But at Soccer Chassis and Westfall GMC, I got a crate motor through them this year, so that worked out real well. Yancey's Automotive helps me out a lot, and Jim's Barbershop and Clay and John Hass, my brother and mom and dad, all of them support me pretty well. So.
I was going to say, everybody wants to know who that winning leading chassis guy or whatever they are that they're running, because so many of them I think want to kind of replicate that. That's not the right word, but do the same thing more or less. Yeah,
you couldn't ask for a better chassis guy than Jim and Blake. They build good, safe cars and fast cars. My Grand National is a shocker. I mean, I've won more races in a shocker car than any car, so I wouldn't be afraid to build one in any class. So, and they're reasonable on anything. It'll fix anything for you. So couldn't ask for a better, nicer set of guys. So.
Okay. Once again, leading the points here at I-35 for the Northern Sport Mods, Chad Clancy. Chad, let's have some fun tonight, man.
Alrighty, thank you.
Caught up with the leader of the IMCA Modifieds here at I-35 tonight, Darren Shaw. Darren, 5 wins last year. so far this year, haven't pulled any down, but you must be doing all right, man. You're leading the points.
Yeah, right now, I mean, we've been consistent, finishing in the top 5. I think we've had like 3, I think, 4th place finishes, so it'd be nice to get that out of the way, you know, maybe get a win tonight. So cars have been fast. We just been breaking just odds and ends stuff. You just, you know, like last week, we just broke a clutch disc in the tranny and just odds and ends stuff. It's like, come on, as soon as we can get that out of the way, we'll be all right. So
I was going to say, making one of these rascals, especially a full-blown modified, is pretty tough to make them bulletproof. But, you know, like you say, if you do it long enough, you keep plugging away, finding them little things and eliminate that stuff, man, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I mean, this year, it's just, I mean, we're lucky we're doing how we're doing. We bought a house, got married, so we work on our car on Saturdays, which really isn't, you know, a good race program, but I mean, we kind of, you know, get away with what we can right now. So, and then, you know, taking on Paige's car, you know, working on 2 cars, just, it's hectic. So, and houses, man, I'd rather race than have a house. They're a pain in the butt. So,
I was going to say, there's a lot of upkeep with one of them, let alone 2 race cars. I can't imagine trying to do 2. That's got to be a real handful for the both of you.
Yeah, it's just between the house and 2 race cars. Yeah, it's too much. So.
The only thing is, you like to have a lot of friends come over or whatever and help out if you can. But man, you've been out on the track so far. Are things going about the way they normally will? Is it going to be kind of dry later on?
Yeah, 3 and 4 slick up probably pretty good just because of the way the wind's blowing, and it usually does more than 1 and 2. But just, I don't know, as long as it stays smooth, and it'll be pretty racy. So. Yeah.
I haven't been up here, I don't think, since the USMTS show. Has that hole down there in 1 kind of settled down a little bit?
Last week, towards the end of the feature, I mean, it wasn't as terrible as it has been, but towards the end it started coming back in. But so hopefully, we haven't had any rain, and hopefully the tracks, you know, stay pretty hard.
For a driver driving into that corner, and you know that thing's there, man, I guess you got to have your car placed in just in the right spot in order to go low or go past it on the high side.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, because if you don't hit it just right, man, you'll be a couple feet in the air bouncing. That's no fun. It wears you out. But yeah, as long as you can hit them just right, you know, sometimes you can use them to your advantage, go in and set the car against them and launch. But you know, a lot of times if they're big enough, you know, it's just going to upset your car if you hit it no matter what. So.
Early on here in the IMCA mod class at I-35, Darren Shaw, the leader. Darren, thanks for talking to us.
No problem. Thank you.
We have caught up with the pit crew here of Hunter Marriott, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
I'm Abby Marriott.
Laura Stockwell.
Brooke Walsham.
And this is what goes on in the pit area when you're sort of in between races waiting for them to start or whatever. But how many years or whatever have you guys been doing this?
Hunter's raced since he was probably about 12, and so 8 years for my brother. So probably about 8 years.
About 8 years, and do you do this at every race?
Actually, this is the first time we've laid down and just relaxed. You were usually actually doing something, so you caught us on an off day.
I will have to say, this is really nice. We got a great breeze that's blowing, and it's really pleasurable out here this evening.
It sure has been. It's a nice day.
Let me ask you this. How's Hunter been doing this year since we're here for the races? Anybody know?
He's not done too bad. He hasn't got a win yet this year, but he's been up there in the top 5 every time, so he's been doing good.
How old is Hunter, by the way?
20 years old.
And you say he's been racing since 12?
Yeah. He started out with stock cars.
Well, heck, he's a veteran.
Yeah.
8 years. I guess he kind of progressed through the regular stages, go-karts or something, and then moved up?
Actually, no, he started out with cars, and then he started racing four-wheelers, and then decided he'd rather race cars instead, so that's how that all worked out.
Okay, folks, once again, you can see what goes on in the pit area here. While we're waiting for the races to get started, they're still running hot laps up there, I think. So, guys, I appreciate all of you talking with us here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What are we doing? What? I can't.
Looking for the green flag this time. Into turn 4, foot to the floor, the engine's come a roar, green flag high in the air. Into turn number 1, Ronnie Miller will take that early lead. He'll get sideways into turn number 2. Keep keeps that lead though. Here comes Wes Bestian on the inside of Casey Schroff. Last week's feature winner, Dustin Miller. He's up to fourth, getting a challenge from Caleb Dennis. Dennis turns way inside of the infield. Ronnie Miller leads lap number 1. Casey Schroff into second spot. Here comes the 52 Emma Dustin Miller, last week's feature winner. He'll move up into that second spot now. Yellow flag out.
4. Yellow.
Looks like we've got the 80 of Ty Parrott, the 33J of Jason Phillips, and the 21C of Chad Clancy. 22 Mike Tanner back out on the racetrack. Green flag comes back out. Wes Bestian, your leader, Dustin Miller, second, looking for his second feature win in a row. Randy Ainsworth looking to the inside. He'll take over that second position. Wes Bestian, your leader. Randy Ainsworth, second. Wes Bestian gets a little bit sideways. That gives the lead over to the 57 of Randy Ainsworth. Picked up a feature win last year, looking for his first this season. Wes Bestian second, Dustin Miller third. Brett Shields fourth, Jeremy Pitzenbarger fifth, getting a challenge now from Brad Whitney for that fifth spot.
Yellow, guys, turn 4 down low.
Yellow flag out for the 92 of Tyler the 92 of Tyler Grooms. Green flag comes back out. Brett Shields looked to the inside of Dustin Miller for that third position. Brad Whitney looking for fifth. Trying to get around Jeremy Pitzenbarger. Here comes the Trenton duo of Nick Haynes and Jeff Stotts. Looking to the inside of Truman Asher. Dustin Miller outside of Wes Bestian for second. Yellow flag going to come out for the 15B of Wes Bestian. Close on our time limit. Guys get a 30-minute time limit in the IMCA Sport Mods. Green flag comes back out. Dustin Miller way up high. Opens the door for Brett Shields, Jeremy Pitzenbarger, Brad Whitney, Truman Asher, Nick Haynes to get by. Jeff Stott's trying to get by. Dustin Miller, he's carrying some speed though off of turn number 2 alongside Nick Haynes, trying to get back around him at least. Once Randy Ainsworth gets out front, he's a hard guy to catch. Randy Ainsworth a big lead over the 8S of Brett Shields. Brad Whitney to the inside of Jeremy Pitzenbarger. Brett Shields way up the racetrack. White flag out for the 57 of Randy Ainsworth. Brett Shields still in second. 73 Truman Asher third. Checker flag out for the 57 of Randy Ainsworth. Second spot will go to the 8S of Brett Shields. Third to the 73 of Truman Asher. Fourth to the 32P of Jeremy Pitzenbarger. Into turn 4, foot to the floor, the engine's cover roar, green flag high in the air. Side by side down the back straightaway, Shane Florence now nose out front. Here comes that 07T of Tyler Corkins. He's up to second. Gets around John Bowler the third. Yellow flag gonna come out. Turn off of turn number 3 over there. I believe it is your points leader, the 25B, Pat Neely over the bank over there. He is your points leader. Actually, looks like the 97 of Travis Taylor. Look like Travis. So the lights out, green flag getting set to come out. Keep your eye on that 07T of Tyler Corkins. Very fast on that last start. I know he's hungry for a feature win, and he knows he's got the car to do it. Green flag comes back out. John Bowler Jr. in that 14X got a better restart there. Jake Cameron ducks down low, looking to get that second spot away from the 41 of Shane Florence. Bruce Fair getting stuck a little bit on the outside there. Started to lose some momentum, but then got it right back. Jake Cameron to the inside of Shane Florence again, looking for that second position. John Bowler Jr. battling it out with Tyler Corkins. Here comes Aaron Palmer in that 64 car. He's a former feature winner here at I-35. Picked up 2 or 3 last season. Greg Kewen in that 6X. Looking for his first feature win. Oh, problems for Gene Stiegel. He's got a right front flat. Him and Pat Neely kind of know where to go for Pat Neely. John Bowler Jr. thus far leading the way. Jake Cameron, Shane Florence battling it out for second and third. On the board, Shane Florence being shown in second. Green flag comes back out. Jake Cameron looking to the inside of John Bowler Jr. for that lead off of turn number 2. Look at Jeff Dixon up there in that 88 car. He's up there. He'll move up into the second spot around right behind Jake Cameron, 3 wide. Shane Florence, John Bowler Jr., and John Bowler III, 3 wide for that position. Problems for Kevin Newton, the 68. Way out in front now in the 86C. Jeff Dixon second.
Yellow, guys, yellow,
Yellow flag out. Looks like the 31X of Matthew West and the 44 of Bruce Fair. Out here in your IMCA Stock Car A feature. Flag comes back out. Jeff Dixon going to look to the inside of the 86C and Jake Cameron. Here comes Thomas Roberts on the outside. He'll get by the 64 of Aaron Palmer. Oh, problems for Thomas Roberts. That car just slows down. Problems for Thomas Roberts. He found something on the outside. Not sure what happened to his car. Jake Cameron, Jeff Dixon pulling away now. John Bowler Jr. up to third. 3 wide out of turn number 2. Here's Dean Ray on the outside. He'll move up to 5th. He's looking for 4th feature win in a row. Aaron Palmer making a little contact with John Bowler III. That'll get him sideways. And he'll lose about 3 positions. Jake Cameron now pulling away from the 88 of Jeff Dixon. John Bowler Jr. sits in that third spot. Dean Ray looks to the inside of Shane Florence for fourth. Dean Ray looking to make a charge into that points lead tonight, trying to get around Pat Neely. He'll get around Josh Steele. Jake Cameron still pulling away from your second place car, Jeff Dixon. Jeff Dixon having his best run of the season thus far. Coming into tonight, Jeff Dixon has 5 starts and only 2 top 5s. I believe second will be his best finish of the season. He may have found something on that outside line. He's starting to reel in your leader. But he's also trying to hold off John Bowler Jr. Dean Ray now up to 4, Shane Florence 5th, Greg Kewen 6th, Tyler Corkin 7th, Benny Turner 8th. John Bowler Jr. looking to the inside of Jeff Dixon for second. White flag out this time for the 86C of Jake Cameron. Dean Ray up to 4th, trying to crouch and scroll his way into a top 3 finish. Out of turn number 4, checkered flag out for the 86C of Jake Cameron. Second spot to the 88 of Jeff Dixon. Third to the 20X of John Bowler Jr. Fourth to the 77 of Dean Ray. And fifth will go to the 41 of Shane Florence. Green flag comes back out. Thomas Roberts, Mike for Jason Anderson side by side into turn number 1. Travis Walker up to third around Bud Wilson, Don Mars 5th, Jim Peeler 6th. Thomas Roberts, Travis Walker battling for that second position. Now Roberts up alongside Jason Anderson looking for that lead. Jason Anderson, your leader. Travis Walker, second at 71. Bud Wilson, third in the 97. Thomas Roberts, fourth in the 44F. Don Mars, fifth in the 9. Mike Taylor Jr. up to 6 now in the 11T. Austin Johnson, seventh in the 98. Rick Steele, eighth in the 94X, and ninth is the X of Jim Peeler. 10th is the 99 of Chris Klein. Problems for Thomas Roberts. He goes over the bank. He'll come back on the racetrack, but he'll lose a position to Don Mars. Jason Anderson starting to pull away, coming up on lap traffic. Travis Walker now reeling him in. Bud Wilson can look to the inside of Travis Walker. Jason Anderson gets by lap traffic. Travis Walker will get by. Bud Wilson will get by. Chris Klein doing a good job holding his line there in that 99 car, only his 6th race. I always say in this Grand National class, we don't have the quantity of drivers, but we've got the quality. Some of the best drivers in this Grand National class, years and years of experience. Bud Wilson now moves up to second around Travis Walker. Bud Wilson right on the back bumper of Jason Anderson. White flag out, this time for the 714 of Jason Anderson, trying to hold off Bud Wilson. Travis Walker sits in third. Don Mars fourth, Thomas Roberts fifth. Bud Wilson trying to make a move, coming to the checkered flag. Out of turn number 4, checkered flag out for the 714 of Jason Anderson. Second spot for the 97 of Bud Wilson. Third will go to the 71 of Travis Walker. Fourth to the 9 of Don Mars. And fifth to the 44F of Thomas Roberts. She knows I'm the announcer. Lights are out. Green flag getting set to come out. Green flag comes out.
She's like, oh my God, we're in Kyle. And I was like, I think that's him standing right down there. And she's like, I don't think she's here.
Dave Truscott leads lap number 1. Lee Farmer quickly up to second. Eric Stanton getting sideways in the 7B. Trying to get around Scott Treadwell. We go 4 wide. Eric Stanton making contact with Alexis Whitney, sends her spinning into the infield. Looks like Dave Truscott actually our leader the last time they crossed the green flag. Lee Farmer second. Green flag comes back out. Good start there by Dave Truscott. Lee Farmer going to look to the inside, trying to get around him for the lead off of turn number 2. Side by side is Scott Treadwell and Anthony Fletchall. Eric Stanton and Mick Ross side by side. Eric Stanton kind of mentoring Mick Ross this season. Helping out the young kid. Lee Farmer takes the lead, but here comes that 7B of Eric Stanton up to second. Treadwell trying to follow him to the front. Mick Ross side by side with Dave Truscott for that 4th and 5th position. Eric Stanton going to look to the inside of Lee Farmer, looking for that lead off of turn number 2. Drives it in there deep. Gets on the brake a little bit to keep from running over Lee Farmer. Mick Ross alongside Scott Treadwell for 3rd and 4th. Problems for the 55A of Alex Anderson. And Lee Farmer so far winning that battle between him and Eric Stanton for that lead. Stanton now going to switch up to the outside. Farmers cuts in front of it, taking his line away. Mick Ross still side by side with Scott Treadwell for third and fourth. Eric Stanton on the outside of Lee Farmer looking for that lead into turn number one. This is what Lee Farmer's been wanting, him and Eric Stanton racing for a win. Coming up on lap traffic, Alex Anderson right ahead for him. See if that plays a factor in the outcome of this race. Eric Stanton now takes that lead into turn number one. Eric Stanton, Lee Farmer trying to get around Alex Anderson. Trying to put him a lap down, they get by him. Mick Ross up to third, Scott Treadwell fourth, Andy Fletchall fifth. Alexis Whitney back up to sixth. Lap traffic right ahead for the 7B of Eric Stanton. Mike Young's right there in front of him. This time by. Eric Stanton will see the white flag, 1 lap to go. Out of turn number 4, checkered flag for the 4th time in a row to the 7B of Eric Stanton. Lee Farmer will come home second to 17. Third's going to go to the 34 of Mick Ross. Fourth to the 19 of Scott Treadwell. And fifth will go to the 29 of Anthony Fletchall. And a good run up from the back by Alexis Whitney after that spin to finish 6th. Lights are out. Green flag getting set to come out. Coming up here next week will be the Midwest Outlaw Lightning Sprint. The Midwest Lightning Sprint's joining us. So be sure to come back and check those out. We were supposed to have them last week and we got rained out.
Lights out. I need the front row straight across. Rest of you nose to tail.
So our final feature of the evening here. Coming up next, Clear Ambition will perform. Green flag comes out. Jim Hopkins takes that early lead into turn number 1. Randy Smith up to second. Here comes the 17S of Shane Lawson. Looked good in his heat race. Trying to put on a performance here in the A feature. He'll move up to second spot around Randy Smith. Perry Milburn in that 12P up to 4th. Johnny McGinnis 5th. Stephen Glenn started to fall back a little bit. Shane Woods running right there behind him. Nowhere for Shane to go. Jim Hopkins, your leader. Shane Lawson second. Perry Milburn now third. Randy Smith fourth. Jim Cameron 5th. Johnny McGinnis 6th. Hunter Marriott 7th. Jason Estes 8th. Jim Keeler 9th. And 10th is Stephen Glenn in that 26S. So right now the guys running 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th have not had a feature win this season. Your first feature winner from this season will be Stephen Glenn. He's running 10th. Then Shane Woods. In that 20W, he's running 11th. a major mishap there with, can't tell if that's Randy Smith. Problems for the 96C of Jim Cameron. He'll pull on the infield. That'll give that second or third spot over to Perry Milburn. Other feature winners from this year, Shea Woods has 3, Stephen Glenn 1, and Mike Van Genderen won opening night. Not here tonight, so only 2 feature winners this season on the racetrack. Jim Hopkins, your leader this far, has led every lap. Shane Lawson second, Perry Milburn third, Johnny McGinnis fourth, Hunter Marriott fifth.
Yellow, guys. Yellow.
Yellow flag out. Up high in turn number 4.
292.
Looks like the 292 of Blake Peeler up there. Green flag comes back out. Here comes the 62 of Hunter Marriott. Perry Milburn to move up to that second spot. Shane Lawson third. Hunter Marriott fourth. Jason Estes fifth. Shane Lawson back to the outside trying to get back around Perry Milburn. Let's see if that yellow flag may have helped your winners from this season. Shea Woods starting to move up a little bit. He'll move up into the 7th position. Stephen Glenn moved back a couple positions. Jim Hopkins still your leader. Perry Milburn second. Hunter Marriott third. Jim Peeler up to 4th. Shane Lawson 5th. Perry Milburn trying to get one of his sponsors a birthday present, and that's his first career feature win. Right now sitting in that second spot trying to chase down your leader Jim Hopkins. Hopkins trying to hit his spots. Oh, Shane Lawson gets turned around, collects Bud Castor. Shane Lawson, having the race of his career, gets turned around, collects Buzz Castor. Green flag comes back out. Hunter Marriott now moves up into that second spot. He's on the outside of Jim Hopkins. Hopkins getting pressure for the first time this race. Hunter Marriott takes the lead now into turn number 1. That'll move Hopkins back to second. Perry Milburn third. Jim Peeler 4th. Todd Wilson up to 5th. Jason Estes 6th. Shea Woods 7th. Perry Milburn going to look to the inside, trying to get around Jim Hopkins. Hunter Marriott now starting to pull away. 3 wide out of turn number 2. Corey Ray, Darren Shaw, and Stephen Glenn. Glenn hangs over the outside. He'll go over the bank. He'll come back out on the racetrack.
And need white next time.
Hunter Marriott pulling away from Hopkins. He'll see the white flag, 1 lap to go for the 62 out of Brookfield, Missouri, looking for his second career feature win here at I-35 Speedway. Jim Hopkins in N71 still second. Shea Woods has fought his way up into 3rd now. Perry Milburn 4th. Out of turn number 4. checkered flag out for the 6200 Marriott. Second spot to the 20W is Ian Woods. Third to the 71 is Jim Hopkins. Fourth to the 12 Perry Milburn, and fifth to the 92 Jim Peeler.